Hi everybody, I hope you're all doing really well. Back today to do the I'll get round to it later book tag. I wasn't tagged by anyone to do this video and I actually don't know who the original creator was. I've been searching around and couldn't see anybody linking to the original one, so please do let me know and I'll tag them down below. But without much further ado, let's just get straight into these questions. Question number one is a classic book you've been meaning to read forever but haven't read yet. You know, there are so many classics that I haven't yet read, but I think most pressing, the one that pops up again and again, is the fact that I really want to finish off all of the Bronte books that I haven't read yet. And for me, that means that I do need to eventually get around to reading both The Professor and Shirley by Charlotte Bronte. Once I've read those two, then I will have read all of their novels. And I honestly don't know why I haven't read them yet. I'm a big Bronte fan and you know I'm from West Yorkshire, so I have a lot of pride in the Brontes and being from where they were from. And yet I have not finished these two novels. Question number two is a book on your shelf you haven't read yet. There are a few that I can choose for this one, but let's go back to Charlotte Bronte and talk about Charlotte by Martina Devlin. I picked this up in Dublin about a month ago, and this is all about the later life of Charlotte Bronte, her marriage to Arthur Bell Nicholls, and particularly the connection to Ireland and the Brontes. I believe that she spent her honeymoon in Dublin. I believe that Arthur Bell Nicholls' next wife after Charlotte died was Irish. I was very drawn to this one when I saw it, but I just haven't picked it up yet. Question number three is a book that you recently got but haven't read yet. And I think the most recent book that I've picked up is one that is going to make Claire Fenby very happy, and it is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. This is one of those big chunky books that has always been on my list to read, but I just never have picked up. You know, it is a bit intimidating. It is a massive book. There is the fantastical element to this, which is not my typical read. I also believe that it is partially set in York, which, considering that's where I went to university, it's one of my favourite cities. That's a real draw. They have recently re-released the book in a beautiful hardback, which was very appealing to me, but I just didn't want to pick it up in hardback to then not like it. But then recently with one of my friends, I went into what a lot of my friends like to call nerdy Blackwells. There are two Blackwells shops in Oxford. There is the regular Blackwells, which has the Norrington rooms, which I maintain is one of the sites that you have to see if you're a bookish person visiting Oxford. But then opposite it is nerdy Blackwells, and that's where you can find, you know, your sci-fi, fantasy, your manga. And I found the paperback version of that beautiful new release hardback there, and I just had to snatch it up. So I think this might be a really nice chunky book to read over Christmas. Question number four is a book that you have had forever but haven't read yet. Now, you'll all know that I've been on a bit of a TBR journey. I managed to get my TBR to 0 for September this year, so there is nothing on my current physical TBR that is really a book that I've had forever. But one of the ones that has been on there the longest, one that I actually have partially read but just haven't picked up for a while, is Haunted Tales, Ghostly Stories for the Darkest Nights by Adam McQueen. First I was trying to read this for Halloween, and then I was trying to read it for the interim between Halloween and Advent. Now we're at the point where it's December and I still haven't finished this. So I'm going to take another crack at it. I don't know why it's taking me so long, but definitely one that I would like to finish before the new year. Question number five is a book a friend recommended that you haven't read yet. For me, that is another one that I have physically. It is Disillusion by CJ Sansom. To be fair, I only just picked up this hard copy a few weeks ago, but this is one that one of my friends from Musical Theatre Society recommended to me way back in January. We were sat in the dressing room getting ready for our production of Oliver. She knew that I was a big fan of the Tudors and she was like, hey, have you read Disillusion? And I was like, yeah, I have seen it floating around, but I'm not sure if it would be my thing. And she just really strongly recommended it. Of course, the TV show on Disney Plus has just come out, so that could have been a good motivating factor for me to pick it up, and I just didn't. But I've heard from multiple sources now that this is a great book, so I'm very much looking forward to reading it. Question number six is a book you're procrastinating on, and for me that is a book that has popped up every now and then on this channel as one that I'm always saying I want to read, but I just haven't yet, and it is The World by Simon Sebag Montefiore. This is a history of the world, but through the lens of looking at different prominent families and how they have shaped world history. And the main reason that I haven't read this yet is because of its size. This is a 1,300 page non-fiction. If I do ever get around to this, it'll be the longest non-fiction book that I've ever read by quite a wide margin. I've read fiction that is longer, looking at You Les Mis, but I've never read non-fiction that is over 1,000 pages. So yeah, I'm procrastinating on it because it's quite intimidating. Then the final question is the next book on your TBR. In theory, in December, I would quite like to read all of the books that I got on my physical TBR, but that might not happen, and so therefore I am prioritising my more Christmassy books for obvious reasons. And one that I definitely need to have next on my TBR, because it's actually a library book, is Deck the Hall, The Stories of Our Favourite Christmas Carols by Andrew Gant. I have read a couple of books by Andrew Gant before. He is a really fantastic writer on classical music, and I have actually read a book about Christmas carols by him before, so when I saw this one come out, I was quite intrigued to see how it was different. And this is basically as it says on the tin, talking about the history of our favourite Christmas carols. So obviously perfect for this time of year. Question number 8 is to tag some people, and I will do that down below in the description box. And there we go, those are all of the answers to the I'll get round to it later book tag. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Please let me know about any books that you have been procrastinating, any books that you're always saying, oh, I'll get round to it later, and then somehow never do. I would love to hear from you. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.